Eurovision 2025 is happening next week. I am anxious, I am nervous, I am really excited. Typically the Eurovision final is a little less stressful, at least for me, because we already know all of the competing entries and the ones that got eliminated. But the semifinals, I low-key find them like twice as stressful as the final. We have so many incredible songs, and unfortunately we are bound to lose some really great ones in the semis. But which ones? Well, it's my job to figure it out. I'm gonna try to predict the qualifiers of Eurovision 2025. Hi, my name is Freyr. I am a Polish sociology student. I love Eurovision so much and I've grown so attached to many entries that we have this year. So this video is gonna be a painful one. Before we start, please remember to subscribe to the channel, obviously like the video and follow me on all of my socials, the links to which I'm gonna include in the description box below. Keep in mind that I am recording this on May 1st, meaning that at the time of me recording, we've not seen any actual rehearsal footage. So I don't know if my theories about the stagings are gonna be correct. If they're gonna be like massive changes, I'm gonna try to like flash forward to like editing Freyr and I'm gonna give you a little more context, but yeah, just keep that in mind. We're gonna be doing these qualifiers in the form of a tier list because I always find that like a visual scheme is more helpful for understanding stuff. So yeah, we're gonna sort these entries into 6 different categories for both of the semifinals, and today they will all be inspired by Sylvia Knight.
And clap!
First, we have the "Why Have You Forsaken Me" tier.
Why have you forsaken me? Why have you forsaken me?
Which is basically the same as a lock non-qualifier. Entries that land in here don't really have a big shot at a qualification. I would pretty much describe them as dead on arrival. Next, we have the "Fuck You Dorslam" tier.
Fuck you!
This is reserved for the songs that I feel like might have a fighting chance but are still not too likely to qualify. Chances are extremely low, but they do exist, unlike the tier we just talked about. So yeah, they might surprise us, even though I don't really see it coming. Our third tier is the Sylvia Knight disappointment tier.
I ordered all leather and black feather walls and champagne and chocolate.
This is for borderline qualifiers that technically have a chance, but I personally just don't see it. They have to be included in the conversation, but I just don't see the vision. Our fourth tier today is gonna be the "My Heart Might Break" tier.
And don't even try to mess with me again, because then my heart could maybe break completely. It is wounded, but I am standing still.
This is reserved for borderline qualifiers that I believe in. For them, it could go either way, but if they don't get a good scenario at the contest, it's very likely that my heart might break. Our fifth tier is the "Thank You for Loving Me" tier. This is reserved for safe qualifiers. They have some risk attached to them, but the risk is minimal. And our final tier is "I am the best thing in this fucking competition" tier.
I'm the best thing that has happened to this fucking competition from the beginning. So, you know, I should have hoorays and salute because I'm...
And I think this is a self-explanatory. Look, qualifiers, there's no way that these stay in the semi. Also, I decided to up the ante a little bit for this video, and I decided that I'm gonna be trying to put these countries in an order that I think they're likely to finish in those semis. So pray for me. So let's begin with semifinal 1. Opening semi 1 is Iceland. VAB with their song Groa are representing the country, and this was an obvious choice for the opener in my opinion. Opening the show is risky. However, I do think that opening Eurovision itself is iconic. Like, this is the first Eurovision song this year that we'll hear when the contest starts. I think they are also very memorable, and combine that with their marketing strategy.
Come aliens coming.
Yeah,
Yes,
aliens
and-
are coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Is that true?
Yeah, and they come to the world and then they have sex together. Those
Wait a minute.
You missed that part.
Where the aliens have sex.
I missed the alien sex part,
so
but
it's about that.
Oh, so it's an alien sex song, guys.
Yeah.
I could see them winning over some people. This is one of those entries, and you see plenty of that in this video, that I have a big emotional connection with. But bias aside, I think that this placement in the running order brings a lot of risk. It's not impossible, but it also won't be easy. They're gonna have to open up with a bang, and that has to include the staging. Given that Gaia will be directly after them, they really will have to match Justina's energy. However, I believe that they can do it. This is not a safe qualifier by any means. So I'm gonna put Iceland in the my heart, my break tier. Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
And don't even try to mess with me again, because then my heart could maybe break completely. It is wounded, but I am standing still.
Next up, we go to my country, Poland. We are being represented by Justyna Steczkowska with Gaia, and this running order placement low-key pissed me off.
This is not good. Why are you saying this?
But I also kind of get it. The second spot is known as the death slot. If you go second, your chances are very, very low. So putting a song like Gaia could serve as a way to like dispute that theory, because truth be told, Gaia is making it to the final. This is such a powerful package that would stand out not only because of how great Justyna is, but also because of the fact that she is the only solo female artist in the semi. She'll stand out so much in that recap. Now, I would put her as a luck qualifier, but unfortunately, I do think this running order will knock her a couple places down in the semi, so I'm gonna put her in the thank you for loving me tier. Next, we go to Slovenia. Klemen with his song How Much Time Do We Have Left is representing them, and I deemed this song dead on arrival the first time I heard it. But after some time has passed, I don't think that anymore. It doesn't stand out, but it is true that there is an audience for this type of music. Also, we don't really have many ballads in the semi, so this will stand out. On the other hand, I think the fact that this is going directly after Gaia and is being followed by a televote giant in the form of Espresso Macchiato, which we're going to discuss in a second, is a death sandwich. This will get some points, but will eventually end up getting overshadowed by more dramatic, louder packages. As a result, I just don't see Slovenia making it this year. The dunce effect doesn't have to apply to every slow ballad that we see, and this one isn't as strong as Hollow was. So, yeah, I see a potential way to the final, but in order to get there, I think God themselves would have to intervene. So I'm gonna put Slovenia in the fuck you Dorslam tier. There is a chance, but it is a small one. I mentioned it before, and now we're talking about it. Estonia with Tommy Cash and Espresso Macchiato is next. Despite the fact that I do not get this song at all, I also have eyes. This screams televote bait to me, and in a televote only semi, this will steamroll everybody else. Fourth place in the semi rarely has a great qualification rate too, and when you add to that how much attention this song has been receiving already, specifically in Italy, which is gonna be voting in the semi, I think that this makes Estonia a first log qualifier of the video. So I'm the best thing in this fucking competition tier it is.
I'm the best thing that has happened to this fucking competition from the beginning.
I'm not happy about it, but again, bias aside, I think this song is absolute mink in the final. The next country is Spain, no discussion needed since they are automatically qualified, so we move on to Ukraine. Zifferblatt with Bird of Prey will 100% qualify. At this point, this is one of the ones that I am most confident in, and so let me present you my reasoning for this. First of all, we are talking about a country that has a 100% qualification rate, and they've never been outside of top 8 in the semifinals. This song is also quite unique. We don't have anything like this in this specific edition, and I don't really think we've seen anything similar to this before.
You ate that.
Then you add to the fact the argument of the Ukrainian diaspora, which is one of the biggest ones in Europe. And then you can add the argument that they are gonna vote for this song because, well, it's literally about them. This song is about the people who had to flee Ukraine and wanting to be reunited with them one day. This message will for sure be relatable for the Ukrainian immigrants. I think that this is a luck qualifier, so I'm the best thing in this fucking competition tier. It is.
And clap.
I will put it after Estonia. I think xofreyr can score higher than Estonia, but I feel like the safer prediction here would be Tommy Cash kind of outnumbering them when it comes to points. It's time for another luck qualifier, this time Sweden with Bara, Badabastu and Kai, and I believe that this is gonna win the semi.
Yup.
Mark my words, they will absolutely win this semi. This is so televote friendly, and combined with the Swedish Polish that they bring with their stagings, this is gonna look amazing in Basel. I don't really have much more to say. I'm just so confident in this entry. They also have so many friends of theirs here. They have Norway, they have Iceland. Like, they are absolutely making the final and probably winning the semi. And I have no other choice but to put them in the I'm the best thing in this fucking competition tier.
I'm the best thing that has happened to this fucking competition from the beginning.
And I'm gonna put them first in that tier because they are absolutely winning the semi. We go from a luck qualifier in reality to a luck qualifier and winner in my heart. Deslocado by Napa is the Portuguese entry this year, and you guys already know how in love with it I am. However, I do have to admit that Napa are kind of fighting an uphill battle here. I see both positives and negatives for them. First of all, this song is closing the first half, which in my opinion is a great spot for them. Deslocado will be a breath of fresh air after entries like Espresso Macchiato, Essa Diva and Bara Badabastu. And then again, it's being followed by Lighter and Strobe Lights. So this is gonna stand out. This is a quite emotional song that the Portuguese diaspora is very likely to show up for, considering that the song tells their story. This song has also been performing very well on different charts across Europe. I feel like there's an audience for this kind of music, and as a result, I could see this making the final. Then you can add into the mix the fact that the Portuguese delegation knows how to stage songs like this. Look at Love Is On My Side or Saudade Saudade. They have done it before and they know how to do it. We've also seen songs with similar energy levels qualify to the final before. For example, Iceland in 2022 with Meu Hakandi Shol, or the previously mentioned Love Is On My Side from Black Mamba in 2021. If there's any entry this year that could receive the Dons treatment, I would say it's Portugal. However, there are also downsides to this being the entry. First of all, obviously, it's not the biggest standout. This is not loud, it's not dramatic. I'd argue that it might also be competing for the same voters with Ukraine. I could see similar audiences liking both of these songs and then having to choose between them. One could argue that being followed by something like Lighter and being directly after Bara Badabastu might make this fade into the background. And altogether, I am optimistic and I see some clear paths to the final. But this is going to be a surprise qualifier, if it's going to be a qualifier at all. And unfortunately, I think that's the only way to the final. It's going to have to be a surprise for people. My heart might break here, and for real, it might.
And don't even try to mess with me again, because then my heart could maybe break completely. It is wounded, but I am standing still.
We are in the second half of Semi 1, starting with Norway. Lighter by Kalle Alessandro is their entry, and this is sailing to the final. One thing you have to point out about this song is that this really lives by its performance. In the studio, it's fine, but Kyle gives it so much life on stage. He's really charismatic and knows what he's doing. This will qualify with ease. However, I do find Strobe Lights an interesting choice for a song to be in Lighter's proximity. I don't think that they will cancel each other out or anything, but I do find it suspicious. I'm gonna put Norway in the Thank You For Loving Me tier right after Poland. And speaking of strobe lights, we're on to Belgium now. This is a very weird entry. On paper, everything is correct. Song is good, the staging should be fine, Red Sebastian sings it very well. That should equal a qualification. But I don't know, I do feel a little worried about it. This entry is generating no hype whatsoever. No one is talking about it. Now, hype, obviously, before the contest isn't everything, but it can be useful to build that momentum necessary for a qualification. This entry is not doing that. I feel happy that Germany is not performing in the semi because I feel like Boller would cancel Strobe Lights a bit, despite the fact that it would not be competing. But on the other hand, Hush by Theo Even could. Both of these songs have similarities and one of them is clearly stronger. You can watch my ranking of Eurovision 2025 for my opinions on that. I think it is possible that they will cancel each other out. Same people are going to be likely to vote for them. So you basically are splitting your audience in half. Then you also have the fact that Strobe Lights is following a big fan favorite in the form of Norway, which might be a disadvantage as well. It might sound delusional of me, but I am putting this in the my heart might break tier. This is not the safest qualifier by any means.
And don't even try to mess with me again, because then my heart could maybe break completely.
Azerbaijan is next. Mama Gama with their song Run With You. I didn't review this song, so this is my first time ever speaking about it, and I think Azerbaijan is gonna continue their run of placing 14th in the semifinals.
Porque ahí sí que vamos a soltar la bomba.
This is sandwiched between Italy, which is an automatic qualifier, and San Marino, which is a big party anthem. There's also the fact that the vocals might be a turnoff. I mean, it is for me. I hate that vocal style. I hate it so much, and it annoys the crap out of me. Earlier this season, qualifying was probable for this, but now, not really. I'm gonna put them in the fuck you door slam tier. There might be a way for them, but I can see it very faintly. Time for the previously mentioned San Marino. Gabri Ponte with Tutta Italia is gonna be representing them, and earlier in the season, I had this as a safe qualifier, but as time went on, I am starting to have doubts. I'm starting to feel like San Marino found themselves in a really sticky situation here. First of all, Gabri is a DJ. He's not singing the song. He has like 2, I think, singers on stage, or maybe 3. But the problem with them is A, they are totally static, and B, they are masked. Obviously, we should respect that choice, but it does create a problem. You cannot really connect with somebody through a mask. And as a result, they feel more like props on the stage rather than actual performers. Gabri can party his ass off behind that console, but it just won't be enough to sell it. It's also gonna look a little weird when he's just gonna be over the lip syncing his song and not really singing it. That leaves room for like 2 or 3 other people, probably dancers, to bring the party. But what kind of party it is when only 33% of people on the stage are actually doing anything? Then another problem arises. Earlier in the season, it was kind of like common consensus that this is bound to get 12 points from Italy in the semi. And that is no longer realistic because Tommy Cash showed up, said hi, and has been marketing himself in Italy so much. Italians love him and his song, so he is bound to get their 12 points this year. That leaves San Marino with 10 points at most from Italy, and that is not enough. And then another problem, DJs typically don't work well in Eurovision. The latest example of that would be Lumix in 2022. That didn't go well despite the song being great. So I could maybe see a path to the final if they figured how to make this performance feel more full and not feel like half of the people are just standing there for little to no reason. But then again, the televote doesn't really like San Marino that much, and this is a televote only semi.
This is not good. Why are you saying this?
Silvia Knight disappointment here it is. I don't know if this can qualify. I am really, every single day that passes, I am just more and more doubtful about it. I don't think there is much to say about Albania this year. Zierm is qualifying. This is a perfect song, and even if Albania can be like hit or miss with stagings, I feel very confident about this. I called this a potential winner in my previous video, goddammit, and having said that, I have to stand by that. With the support of the Albanian diaspora, this could also get really high. I see Italy and Switzerland specifically giving them a lot of points for this. I am the best thing in this fucking competition tier.
I'm the best thing that has happened to this fucking competition from the beginning.
And clap.
And we move on to the next shoo-in of a qualifier. Netherlands with Claude are absolutely gonna go through. He is very, very lovable. He has great stage presence, and I think that this is gonna do very, very well in the semi. It's also the most accessible song in this semi-final, or at least I'd argue that. I am the best thing in this fucking competition tier. That was a quite pleasant streak, but it's gonna unfortunately have to come to an end with Croatia. Poison Cake is just not a song that is anyhow coherent, it's not accessible, and it doesn't make sense. Marker is a great artist, but this just doesn't make sense for him at all. This song, as of me filming, is last in the odds, and I understand why. If I had to bet on it, I would say that this is very likely to finish last in the semi. It does have a great running order position, but there's not much that can help it. Maybe it's gonna get some points on the board from Slovenia, just like it did last year, but that won't be enough to pass the finish line. Why have you forsaken me here?
Why have you forsaken me? Why have you forsaken me?
I'm very, very sorry, Marker, but we have to be real. And we reached our final song of Semi 1. Jesus Christ, it's Cyprus. I will never understand why this is closing the show. This to me feels so anticlimactic, even if they have some like insane staging. Although clearly the producers had the reasons to do this. I do have a theory on why that is though. Basically, when the song was released, they said that the meaning of the song, the true meaning of the song, is going to be revealed at Eurovision when Theo performs. It has been speculated that the song is the retelling of the myth of Adonis, a character in Greek mythology. But then again, I don't know how a reveal regarding that would be effective. This is not one of the Greek myths that I feel like everybody knows, at least that's how I feel about it. The problem with Hush is that it's just a walking enigma. There are doubts whether Theo can sing it. We also know nothing concrete about the stage. Apparently, Theo is not gonna be dancing, which is a choice, considering that this is a dance song and he is a dancer. Also, apparently he won't be touching the ground somehow. Like, Sergojan is working overtime to make this spectacular, but will it be enough? I don't know. Ultimately, if Theo fails vocal-wise, which is likely to happen, this can fall apart. And Cyprus is closing the show, which is a big advantage, but then they don't have Greece to guarantee a 12 points from any country. And also, I have to mention the possible strobe lights competition. As a result, this could crash and burn, finishing like 13th in the semi. But then again, it could qualify comfortably. We just simply don't know enough. I'm gonna put Cyprus in the Sylvia Knight disappointment tier for now. This is a complete tier list for Semi 1, and this is my predicted placing for the semis as well. Sweden wins the semi, Estonia is 2nd, Ukraine is 3rd, Albania is 4th, Netherlands are 5th, then Poland is 6th, Norway would be 7th, Belgium is 8th, Iceland 9th, Portugal 10th. And for the non-qualifiers, Cyprus is 11th, San Marino 12th, Slovenia 13th, Azerbaijan 14th, and finishing last is Croatia. We'll see if I was right very, very soon. Okay, let's go. Semi 2 time. Australia opens the semi with Milkshake Man. Despite the fact that this is opening, they are in a great position. They have the UK and Ireland voting in the semi, and they have a memorable enough song that I believe that they can indeed qualify comfortably. I'm gonna put Gojo in the Thank You for Loving Me tier. This is going to the final. Montenegro, however. Let me just rant for a second.
About you, your mother, your fucking kid, or that dog of yours. Fuck them all. Yeah, bitch. Fuck.
Last year, we welcomed Luxembourg back into the contest after 30 years. It felt celebratory. They had this full-on like red carpet basically rolled out for them. They closed their semi, and this year they also have a great position. And then when Montenegro comes back to the contest, we do get like an announcement, and they immediately get delegated to the 2nd slot in the running order, aka the death slot.
And I mean, honestly, I would love the names.
The double standards are insane, and especially when the Luxembourgish broadcaster is much more wealthier than the Montenegrin one. And as a result, I could see us losing Montenegro because of this. If they participate next year, I will be ecstatic, but they deserve better. Nina Zizic could have been given a much better chance with a better slot in the running order. Imagine if her place in the running order was swapped with, for example, Austria. That could make the semi way more competitive than it already is, and wouldn't put Austria at risk because they are 100% qualifying, but we'll get to that. And instead, we get an almost unavoidable non-qualification for Montenegro. They do have Serbia in the semi, but it's both an advantage and a disadvantage considering that Serbia also sent a Balkan ballot. That means that the demographic of people who are likely to vote for a ballot in this style just got split in half. And as a result, I have to put Montenegro in the Why Have You Forsaken Me tier. And why? Why have you forsaken them?
Why have you forsaken me? Why have you forsaken me?
We move on to Ireland. Like a Party is their entry, and I am not really optimistic about it. We have some strong pop songs in the semi, and this is not one of them. Yes, it stays in your head, but it comes off as more like annoying than anything else. The visuals we've seen for this so far have been horrible. I am also doubtful about Emmy's confidence. She doesn't seem to be giving much life to this song anytime she performs it. And as a result, I don't feel like this can qualify. There are allies for Ireland in the semi, but I don't think that is gonna improve their chances too much. I'm gonna put Ireland in the fuck you Dorslam tier. There might be a way in, but I just don't see it. Burman Limey by Total Metas is next, and if this doesn't qualify, I will be on the news, as I stated previously. They do have Lithuania and Ireland here, which tend to vote for Latvia. And aside from that, they do have a spectacular song that really stands out. As I've been tweeting about it, the fact that this is a borderline qualifier is so unfair. My hope lies in the perfect staging that we will hopefully see in Basel, referencing the one at Supernova. Also, their voices can really impress people. This is so unique and there is nothing quite similar to Burman Limey. However, in this semi, competition for qualifying is tough. And I have to put it in the My Heart Might Break tier. And it fucking will if they don't make it.
And don't even try to mess with me again, because then my heart could maybe break completely.
Armenia. Progressive Survivor is representing them, and I don't know how to feel about it. They do have their allies here in the form of Georgia and Israel, but I am unsure whether that is gonna push this over the line. This is one of the closest things that we have to a rock entry, I guess, but then again, it's a little lighter on those elements, and I feel like the rock adjacent fans are more likely to vote for Lithuania than for this. Also, the rap part of this song, I don't know if there has been a single live performance in which it worked for me. There is possibility of this sneaking into the top 10 of the semi, but I don't think it's too likely to happen. So Sylvia Knight disappointment tier, it is. We go from a stretch of songs that I can't be too confident about to one that is a dead set qualifier. Austria with JJ is not only gonna be top 3 in the semi, but is a potential winner of the contest. This is not the most like televote friendly entry ever, but in the semi it will shine so much. The publicity this has received should be more enough to push this over the line. And also this is another Sigurdsson staging. This is qualifying with ease, so I'm the best thing in this fucking competition tier. Finally gets an entry in the semi.
I'm the best thing that has happened to this fucking competition from the beginning. And clap!
I love how all 6 tiers currently have 1 song each, but we're gonna change that now. Greece with Astaromata by Klovdia is up next. Now, this song I am pretty confident in. Question mark? Klovdia's vocals will be good no matter what. The problem I have with this is A, this semi is very ballad heavy, and B, that staging at Ethnikos Talikos. I believe that the staging will be better in Basel, but it's not a need at this point, it's a must. That staging has to change, otherwise this is absolutely flopping and staying in the semi.
And clap!
Klovdia has also remained a mystery, and we don't know much, so hopefully we will know more soon. Right now, I'm gonna put this in the thank you for loving me tier. Yeah. Lithuania is closing the first half, and oh my god, this is so qualifying. Tavo Akis is so unique and will absolutely vacuum these rock and alternative music lovers' votes. This is such a good position for them. They also have Latvia and the United Kingdom in the semi, which will give them a lot of points. I could very much see Lithuania pull a top 5 in the semi. They have the authenticity necessary to do that. Thank you for loving me tier before Australia. They're quite close to the highest tier though. Malta is up next. Mirjana Conte is representing them, and yes, she is absolutely qualifying, no question about it. Not only is she sandwiched between Lithuania and Georgia, which are totally different vibes to serving, but you also have the viral factor of this song. The promotion for this entry has been incredible, and even if Malta typically doesn't do well in the televote, she'll be the exception. Also, it's just a very good song, and with the whole audience screaming "can't" at the top of their lungs, hopefully, I am more than optimistic about this entry. I am gonna put Malta in the "I'm the best thing in this fucking competition" tier right after Austria.
I'm the best thing that has happened to this fucking competition from the beginning.
Same cannot be said for Georgia. Freedom is one of the most hopeless sounding songs I've seen in a while.
And
This is so bad, it's so disjointed, it's so boring, nothing can save it. Georgia doesn't know how to stage their entries either. Most of them are plain horrible when it comes to staging. There's nothing that can possibly elevate this. This is my bet to finish last in Semi 2. I don't see anything else in this song's future. No amount of friends voting wise would be enough to save them, and this running order set ablaze the chances that were already very, very low. This song is sandwiched between Malta and France, for God's sake. That is a death sentence if I've ever seen one. Why have you forsaken me, tier? There's no way I can put this any higher.
Don't stop. Go on.
France is automatically qualified for the final, so we move on to Denmark. Hallucination is this country's best chance to qualify since Yes in 2020, although that song never competed for obvious reasons. Denmark is technically in a good spot. Pop song wise, this is one of the strongest ones in the semi, and it is a package that might appeal to people. Sissel has been doing a lot of marketing online, so I do think people will know of her before she performs.
That's my husband. Don't look at him, he's mine. He's my husband.
However, I do have doubts. Sissel is great, but she cannot do everything. The Danish delegation is one of the most helpless ones. They are resourceful, but cannot for the life of them use these resources well. Sissel has taken the reins in some parts of the process, but you know, the staging has to be perfect, and she cannot do everything herself. Hallucination should be an easy song to stage, but this delegation, I believe that this delegation can mess it up. Also, Denmark doesn't really have friends in the semi. They don't have any of the Nordics aside from Finland, and Finland doesn't really favor Denmark too much. So overall, there are both positive things and negative ones too. I'm gonna equal it to a my heart might break tier for Denmark, and it will, because I do kind of want Sissel in the final. I think she deserves it.
And don't even try to mess with me again, because then my heart could maybe break completely.
We move on to Sissel's boyfriend, Adonis from Czechia. Now, this song has yet to click for me, but I do feel like it's gonna do very well and qualify comfortably. This dance break is divisive, but apparently when you see it live, it'll actually work. So I'm hoping that maybe it clicks for me in Basel. Aside from that, I think that this is very well done, very polished song. I don't think that there are many challenges that Czechia is gonna have to face this year with a song like this. I see this in the final, and as a result, this lands in the thank you for loving me tier before Lithuania. The next country is Luxembourg. Laura Thorne is going to be representing them, and I am not sure how to feel about this one. This is another one of those kind of forgotten entries for me this year, but when it comes to Luxembourg, you cannot discount them, even if they have a mid song. They've not been back for this long, so we haven't seen many patterns with them yet. But last year, they qualified with a pretty mid song and terrible staging to add to that. So this year, with a bit more polish that they seem to have acquired, I think that they should be through to the final. However, I don't know. I feel like there's just something about this entry that isn't clicking for many people. It does stay in your head, but it's not very dramatic. It strikes me as an entry that doesn't particularly get much hate, but it isn't also anyone's favorite. I kind of feel like this is the strobe lights of the semi. On paper, sure qualifier, but in reality, I'm not sure. It will be followed directly by Israel, which is a televote giant, so that might also hurt its chances. I'm gonna put Luxembourg in the my heart might break tier after Latvia. Speaking of Israel, I don't think that there is much to be said here. My stance on this country being here remains the same as it was before. Nothing really changed in that regard. This song is obviously going through to the final comfortably because with Israel, people vote for their flag instead of their song. This is one of the most boring entries of the year, and it's gonna finish top 3 in the semi because of the obvious context. It is also sandwiched between Luxembourg and Serbia, which are 2 entries that I think will struggle, which is a plus for them. I have to place this in the I'm the best fucking thing in this competition tier, despite the fact that this is obviously not the best thing in this fucking competition. Like, objectively speaking. Just 2 entries to go. Serbia is up next with Mila. This song suffers from the same problems I spoke when talking about Montenegro, with one slight difference: the running order slot. This is actually a really good spot for them. It will be fresh in people's memories, despite it being sandwiched between Israel and the song that I am betting on to win this semi, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This has some appeal for people who like more nostalgia, but it also is just really bad. They were given a hand, but will that be enough? I'm not completely sure. I'm gonna put Serbia in the Sylvianite disappointment tier before Armenia. And now, it's time for Finland. Erika Wickman is winning this semi. Mark my words.
And clap!
This closing the show, epic, just honestly epic. I also really love how the semi is opened by a horny song and closed by a horny song as well. But back to Ich komme, this is absolutely gonna demolish everybody. Like, being last is a big advantage and people will pick up their phones and vote for this. Erika's presence alone will sway some people her way. This song is comfortably landing in the final. This is another Sigurdsson staging as well. This one will probably be similar to the one in UMK, with some slight changes to the choreo, which we already know about because there was a video of Erika's rehearsal that was posted to TikTok.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment. Now, come on now.
I love how she made the choreo even like more sexual after the EBU had discussions about whether the performance was too risky. Love it. And yeah, she's sweeping. I'm the best thing in this fucking competition tier, and she's landing at the very top of it.
I'm the best thing that has happened to this fucking competition from the beginning. So, you know, I should have hoorays and salutes.
So here's my prediction for semi 2. In first place we have Finland, second is gonna be Austria, third is gonna be Israel, fourth Malta, fifth is Czechia, sixth is gonna be Lithuania, seventh is gonna be Australia, eighth is Greece, ninth is gonna be Latvia, 10th is gonna be Denmark. And then non-qualifiers, Luxembourg is 11th, Serbia 12th, Armenia 13th, Ireland 14th, and finally Montenegro 15th, and Georgia is gonna be last. This feels quite, it feels kind of hopeful, I guess. But we'll see. I feel like this could be realistic, especially when it comes to the top places in the semi. And there you have it. Here are both of my predictions for semi on screen right now. You can pause to read. But other than that, feel free to give me some feedback and make sure to remember to subscribe to my channel. I will see you in 2 weeks' time because there won't be a video during Eurovision week. I'm already going to be insanely busy. But I will see you in those 2 weeks. And until then, take care. Bye.
I'm coming, and before you come, you scream, I'm coming, and I echo loudly, I'm coming.
And clap!